The Clan McGrath, Irish, Clann Mac Craith, is an Irish clan. The name McGrath is derived from Mac Craith, recorded in other written texts as Mag Craith, Raith and Macraith, including the Annals of the Four Masters and the Annals of Ulster. McGrath is a surname of ancient Irish origin, borne by the descendants of a number of septs, each with a common origin in the Kingdom of Thomond, a kingdom that existed before the Norman invasion and located in North Munster. Tradition states the McGraths are of gCais, a Dalcassian ancestry, stemming from Cormac Cas, king of the province of Munster in the 3rd century AD. The Irish surname Mac Craith is considered to be patronymic in origin, being a name derived from the first name of the original bearer. The prefix Mac in Mac Craith denotes son of, and the commonly accepted translation of Craith is grace, prosperity, or divine grace. Therefore, the literal translation of McGrath is son of divine grace. As the native Irish language was replaced by English, so the speaking of the family name Mac Craith was transformed. The most widely used anglicised speaking of Mac Craith is McGrath. However, other variants exist, including McGrath, McGraw, McCrae, 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 McGrath, McGrath, Macra, McCraw, McCreath, McGray, Mac Craith, McCree. These are simply anglicised variations of the same name. Other variants of the name include O'Rourke, O'Rourke, O'Ree, McCrae, Ray. Occurrences of the name are found in Antrim, Dublin, Galway, Mayo. The late Drive, Edward MacLysart, theorizes to the exact original Gaelic name of which O'Rourke is the anglicised form. MacLysart suggests that the name may be an anglicised form of Mac Raith or Mac Craith, which is pronounced Macraa, which is also anglicised as Raya. McCrae and McCrae and is related etymologically to McGrath, MacCraw and McGrath. In this case, the surname comes from the Gaelic Mac Craith, meaning the son of Craith. Craith itself is Gaelic for prosperity. Brian Boru, High King of Ireland, 941-1014, ad. During the High Kingship of Brian Boru, Mac Seneside, or Brian Boru as he is more commonly referred, the Mac Craith clan as a separate entity did not exist, and the ancestors of the Mac Craith possibly formed part of a wider family group. Historical sources state these proto-Mac Craiths were the descendants of Seneside Kennedy, the father of Brian Boru, and when Brian died they were within the generational range that made them eligible for the leadership position within the wider clan group. They were part of the Diapine. This allowed any man whose father, grandfather or great-grandfather eligible for election as king in the lifetime of the king. One man of the Diapine was nominated Tana East, or heir, to succeed on the king's death. With the election of one of Brian's sons as king and the passage of time, these proto-Mac Craiths were no longer eligible for leadership of the O'Brien dynasty, descendants of Brian Boru clan, and so developed into a separate dynasty. Brian Boru's father Seneside had the support of the O'Neill dynasty of Ulster in his rise to power. This link may have drawn the Mac Craith clan north to Ulster to settle the lands around Lochdoug, in Tyrone, Fermanagh and Donegal. The Mac Craith clan established a buffer zone, insulating the Uí of Tyrone from the other powerful dynasty in Ulster, the O'Donnell dynasty of Tyrconnell. Donegal. The earliest reference to the name McGrath occurs in a citation from 1086 AD referring to a McGrath, who was described as the chief poet of the province of Munster. This McGrath, the progenitor of the Clan Mac Craith, was related to the O'Briens of Thomond and served them as poets. The Mac Craith lineage is as follows. Lorcan Seneside Echtian, brother of Brian Boru. Flann Craith. Craith may have been born around 970 AD In 1097 AD, the Annals of Innisfallen record the son of Mac Craith the poet died. This is the first instance of Mac Craith being used as a family name. As poets, the Mac Craiths are important enough to be recorded in the Annals. McGrath sept of Ulster, Clann Mac Craith, Clann McGrath. In Gaelic, Clann Mac Craith, also known as Clann McGrath, exists in the barony of Tirhu in South Donegal. The territory incorporates the modern town of Pettigo and the ancient pilgrimage island and lake of Lochdag. Clann McGrath is also the location of Castle McGrath, also known as Clann Castle. To the north of the McGrath territory and just outside Ballybofey is Carraig McGrath, possibly the inauguration site of the McGrath chieftains. The Clan McGrath were the hereditary Corabs of the famous pilgrimage islands of Lochdag and controlled the routes to the pilgrimage island and the revenues gained from pilgrims making their way from across Europe to the site. The Annals of Ulster detail the names and lineage of the McGrath chieftains of Ulster from the 12th century until the eventual dispossession of McGrath lands in the 17th century. This valuable source also gives information on the Termon. The Termon was under the divine protection of the local St. Davog, and the McGrath chieftain. We find the annals describing this Termon as Tierman Davog, St. Davog's Termon, until the end of the 15th century when in 1496 the Annals of Ulster begin to refer to it as Tierman Mac Craith. McGrath's Termon, from the clan who held the hereditary office of Corrib. In Gaelic, Comaba, Archbishop Mila McGrath 1523–1622 AD. Perhaps the most infamous of the McGraths of Termon McGrath is Archbishop Mila McGrath, also spelt Mila McGrath 1523–1622 AD. Mila was the son of the McGrath chief. Donchardon was destined for the religious life. He became a Franciscan and studied in Rome where he acquired the Roman Catholic bishopric of Down and Connor. Although kinsman and foster brother of the Gaelic Lord Shane the Proud O'Neill, Mila was himself a master in the game of politics and alliances. In 1569 he conformed to the Reformed faith and was initially granted the Protestant bishopric of Clogher, thus holding a Roman Catholic and Protestant bishopric at the same time. This continued until 1580 when he was eventually deprived of the Catholic bishopric for heresy. Mila would expand his influence and power across Ireland and in 1571 AD became Archbishop of Rock of Cashel in Tipperary. Mila brought 200 armed men from his ancestral home at Clann McGrath, consisting mainly of his McGrath kinsmen. Their descendants are still found today in Tipperary. Mila patrolled his lands in Tipperary, carrying a sword and wearing armor, a sign perhaps of the dangers in which a man such as he found himself. Mila married Amy, the daughter of the O'Meara chieftain, and fathered 4 sons and 2 daughters. In 1622, aged 100 years, Mila died. Prior to his death he commissioned his tombstone, which today bears an effigy in the robes of a Catholic bishop. It is debated as to whether this is an actual representation of Mila or a later addition to the tomb. It is a tradition that Mila converted back to the Catholic faith before his death. Mila had his coat of arms carved on his tombstone. These are recreated in the above artwork. Mila's arms are the earliest depiction of the McGrath arms that we know of and are almost 500 years old. The Ulster McGrath chiefs of Clann McGrath 1290–1641 AD. Gila Adhanan Mac Craith. Nicholas, son of Gila Mac Craith. Murish, son of Nicholas Mac Craith. Mark, son of Murish Mac Craith. Sean Moore, son of Murish Mac Craith. Matthew, brother of Sean Moore Mac Craith. Sean Bui, the fair-haired, son of Sean Moore Mac Craith. Diarmid, son of Mark, son of Murish Mac Craith. Rory, son of Diarmid, son of Mark Mac Craith. Torlo, son of Andrew Mac Craith. The Mac Craith, first name unknown, chieftain between 1549 and 1562. Donica Mac Craith, father of Archbishop Mila McGrath. James, son of Archbishop Mila Mac Craith. Turlo, son of James Mac Craith, captain of 140 rebels in Donegal during the 1641 Confederate Rebellion, late 17th and early 18th century. Brian, son of Turlo Mac Craith, a rebel, is outlawed for his part in the Jacobite Wars in Ireland. Seamus Og, son of Turlo, is Mac Craith of the Termon. Raymond, son of Seamus Og, is Mac Craith of the Termon. McGrath sept of County Tipperary. The Civil Survey of 1654 AD for Co. Tipperary effectively groups together three main clusters of McGraths. One are the descendants of Archbishop Mila McGrath and his kinsmen in central Tipperary. The other is a family listed as McCraith in northwest Tipperary, and the third was again listed as McCraith in the Care area. Members of the Thomond branch of the McGraths migrated to the Care area of Tipperary in the late 16th century and established a bardic school. A McCraith family occupied the Tower House at Lochleary both before and after the Cromwellian transplantation that removed many Irish families from their homesteads. Their descendants still occupy the townland of Lochleary to this day. Over the subsequent years, some of these McCraiths migrated into Co. Limerick, Co. Cork and Co. Waterford. McGrath sept of County Waterford. The best-known Waterford McGraths, often referred to as McCraith, were located on the eastern slopes of the Knockmeal Down Mountains. These families were descended from the Mac Craiths of Thomond and were associated with the Fitzgerald family, Earl of Desmond. The McGraths and O'Briens were invited to occupy the slopes of the Knockmeal Down and Camera Mountains respectively to protect the Fitzgerald territory from incursion from the north. The head of the clan in the early 1600s was Philip McCraith of Sliabgwa, who constructed a castle called Sleedy Castle in 1628 at Curran-ar-Sleedy. The walls of this impressive 17th-century four-story structure are still standing. Sleedy Castle is located just east of Cappoqueen, a little off the road to Clonmel. The family also had a castle at Mountain Castle, which is still standing, where Philip lived prior to building Sleedy Castle. A tower house at Abberside across the river from Dungarvan was built by a member of this family in the mid-1500s. They were protectors and patrons of the nearby Augustinian Abbey. The castle was finally demolished in the 1960s. The site of the castle was marked with the unveiling of a commemorative plaque in 2015. The Clan McGrath of Thomond and Ulster came together with the local council and dignitaries for the unveiling. The Clan McGrath of Thomond and Ulster were represented by their respective Clan Fine. The Clan McGrath today. The Clan McGrath today is represented by two active septs. These septs are located in the ancient clan territories of Ulster and Thomond. Both septs are registered clans of Fintain ar Erin, clans of Ireland. Each sept is headed by a Clan Fine. The Clan Fine of the Clan McGrath of Ulster is Sean Alustran Mac Craith. The Clan Fine of the Clan McGrath of Thomond is Dan McGrath. The Clan McGrath has hosted two clan gatherings in 2013 and 2016 in Dungarvan, Co. Waterford. Arms. The McGrath family are armigerous in Ireland and in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The earliest recorded McGrath arms are that of the McGrath chieftain of Ulster. These are recorded as Argent, 3 lions, Passant Gullers in the book Irish Pedigrees. The Stem of the Irish Nation by John Harton in Irish Families. Their Names, Arms and Origins by Edward MacLizer. The McGrath Clan Fine of Ulster is armigerous in his own right. The Dalcassian tribe and their clans. Battle of Clontarf.
Retrieved 29 November 2015. The Origins of the McGrath Family by Michael F. McGraw.